So, you've got a dog in San Diego? You already know just how amazing this city is for our four-legged friends, right? Well, this guide is all about finding that perfect trainer who can help you both enjoy it to the fullest. I mean, life here is all about being outside. You're thinking about those walks on the boardwalk, maybe some off-leash time at Dog Beach, or just kicking back on a sunny patio. Having a well-behaved dog is what makes all of those moments relaxing instead of stressful. But let's be honest, when you start looking for a trainer, the number of options can feel like a lot. How do you pick the right one? You need someone who gets dogs, of course, but also gets what it's like for a dog living this unique San Diego life. And that is exactly what we are going to walk through together. We're going to break this whole process down into really clear, simple steps so you can feel totally confident about who you choose. Let's start with what training even looks like for a city dog. Okay, so first up, what does a trained dog even mean here in San Diego? Well, it's about your dog being able to stay cool and calm on a busy sidewalk in the gas lamp, or maybe walking nicely through Balboa Park when it's packed on a weekend. Now, before you even open a single web browser, this is the most important step you can take, figuring out what you actually want to accomplish. When you know your goals, it makes finding the right person and the right kind of training so much easier. You know, training isn't just one thing. It comes in a few different flavors. In-home lessons, they're amazing for stuff that happens at home, like barking at the delivery guy. Group classes are perfect for practicing focus with other dogs around. Day training is a big help if you're swamped for time, and a board and train is that really intensive, deep dive option. So what's on your list? For a lot of people, it's the basics, a really solid sit, stay, and coming back when you call them. For others, it's those specific challenges like pulling on the leash all the way to the park. Or maybe you've got a new puppy who needs to learn how everything works. Just naming your goal is the first step to fixing it. And hey, if you just brought a new dog home, it's so helpful to remember this timeline. It's called the 3-3-3 rule, and it just sets some realistic expectations. It takes time for a dog to really settle in. A good trainer is going to work with that natural process, not try to rush it. All right, now we're getting into the details of how to actually size up a trainer. We'll look at the methods they use, what all those letters after their name actually mean, and of course, what you should probably expect to budget for training here in San Diego. You're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement, and there's a really good reason for that. It's the modern standard, and it's backed by science. Basically, it just means you're rewarding the behavior you want to see. This builds a really strong, trusting relationship and actually makes learning fun for your dog. And the difference is pretty stark. Humane, reward-based training is all about building trust, which gets you those long-term results. What you want to stay away from are any methods that use fear, intimidation, or pain. They might look like a quick fix, but they can cause much bigger issues down the line. Credentials can be a great shortcut to finding someone who knows their stuff. Look for things like CPT-KA. That shows the trainer passed a big test on training knowledge. Now, if you're dealing with more serious issues like deep-seated fear or reactivity, certifications like CBCC-KA tell you that person has a higher level of expertise in behavior. And of course, the budget is a real consideration. So here's a realistic look at what training generally costs around San Diego. Group classes are usually the most affordable way to get started. On the other end, a board and train program is a pretty big investment. This should help you figure out what format matches your goals and your budget. So, once you've got a short list of trainers you're interested in, it's time to actually talk to them. Think of it like an interview. Here's a little checklist to make sure you cover all the important stuff. Being ready for this call is so helpful. Start by asking about their methods. You're listening for positive reinforcement. Then, ask about their certifications and how they keep their skills sharp. A great trainer is going to create a custom plan for your dog, not just use some cookie-cutter approach. You'll also want to ask how you'll both know you're making progress, get a clear breakdown of all the costs, and, this one's big, find out what your homework will be, because your involvement is absolutely essential. All right, once the training starts, the real work begins, which is taking all those new skills out into the real world. This is where you really make those behaviors stick, especially in our busy local spots. Let's start with a simple but super important local tip. In most public places here in San Diego, your dog has to be on a leash that's no longer than 6 feet. This rule alone is exactly why practicing that polite leash walking is such a must-have skill for city life. And luckily, San Diego has some amazing real-world classrooms. The famous Dog Beach in OB, perfect for working on recall with tons of distractions. Fiesta Island gives you all that open space for distance work, and the trails in Balboa Park or around Mission Bay are just ideal for mastering that calm leash walk around joggers, bikes, you name it. Okay, here's a question I think every San Diego dog owner has wondered at some point. Can you actually bring your dog along to a brewery or a cafe patio to work on their training? And the answer is a big yes. These places are fantastic for practicing calm behavior, like teaching your dog to just settle on a mat while you have a coffee. The main thing is to be respectful. It's always a good idea to call ahead and double-check their policy. And when you're just starting, try to go during off-peak hours when it's not so chaotic. This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Training isn't about having this perfectly obedient robot. It's about building a better connection, better communication, so you can confidently share more of your life and more of this amazing city with your dog. Happy training! Remember, putting in this effort is really an investment in your relationship. A well-behaved companion just makes every single part of your life better, from the big adventures at the beach to those quiet, simple moments you share at home.